Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my co-host, Commentary Ashton, and this is our NXT review. You know why I stretched the out again? Because I did it for our Lucha Underground review, because this show was also excellent. I gotta be honest, start was like, it was all right. We started with freaking Adam Cole, and we ended with an amazing NXT championship match. There was certainly some fluff in the middle. I won't deny that. But again, the adage I've been following lately, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And that NXT championship match between Black and Ciampa was goddamn incredible. I think the best NXT championship match I've seen since Almas Gargano from TakeOver New Orleans, and just really one of the best NXT matches in general this year. Partner, what did you think of tonight's NXT?
Oh yeah, I'm exactly where you are. Where the opening of the show, Adam Cole is wonderful, and then we got really anything involving champions tonight was good to great, and everything else was mediocre to annoying.
Yeah, I agree with you completely on that. In fact, I think that's actually a nice way to kind of survive what this episode was tonight. So with that said, let's get into our first segment, Heat of the Night. No heats the night, no nitpicks. I mean, after that main event, Jesus Christ, like I love wrestling. When wrestling's good, there is nothing on this earth that can compare to it. And Ciampa and Black achieved that. I can't wait to talk about it, but we got to wait a little bit before we get there. Do you have any heats of the night or nitpicks tonight?
Yeah, I do. I do have a heat of the night. I have a you, Ricochet. How dare you? How dare you? And you too, War Raiders. And you three, Mustache Mountain. Who do you think you... No, I'm just kidding, man. Let's go.
I was going to be like, whoa, giving everybody the bit, but don't worry. We will get to it, because let us get into our NXT review. And we open up, well, really with the video package of Ciampa Black that was played last week. You guys already know I loved it. I think it's one of the best video packages I've seen in some time.
It was definitely a lot better the first time around than it was this week, because this week I was just waiting for it to end because I knew I already saw it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm right there with you. And see, it's video packages like that, though, that, like, if I would have seen this in the old school era, like, watching a pay-per-view, whatever, I would have been so fucking ready for this. So, yeah, it was great. But then we get to the actual stuff, and who opens the show? Of course, but wait for it.
Yes.
Wait for it.
I'm going to let you do it.
Adam Cole, baby! That's how good of a mood I'm fucking in. I will throw my weight, even if only for one night only, behind the Cult of Cole. But I know my role, so I'm going to step back. I'm going to let the true speaker on the mound take the reins. Bud, it was Adam Cole, North American champion of a fucking continent, taking on CWC competitor and guy that I personally liked but knew he had no chance in hell, Sean Maluta. Give us your breakdown.
Adam Cole wins. What else?
That's right. Yeah, he wins with the last shot, as in that was Sean Maluta's last shot to be fucking relevant, and he took a knee to the back of the head, because that's what happens when you mess with Adam Cole, baby! But it just doesn't end there, because it's one thing to be superior. It's one thing to be a champion, something that a drag that we'll mention in just a few moments wouldn't know anything about. But Adam Cole realizes that was a quick match. And I know you people pay to see me, because your lives are so insignificant. You need to see me so that when you drive back to your dingy, rundown homes, you can tell your family, no, I'm still late on the rent. No, the fridge still isn't stocked, but I saw Adam Cole, baby, so everything will be A-okay because he exists. And as he was explaining this very fact, he was rudely interrupted by a Rock wannabe, or as all of you might know him, Ricochet. And Ashton, I would love to keep talking for you, brother, but my gag reflex is in overdrive at this just repulsive transgression, I'm going to need you to take over.
Ricochet wants a shot at Adam Cole's North American Championship at Brooklyn 4. And John, I actually can't believe that you made me say he called Adam Cole. You know what? I'm just gonna dance around it. He called Adam Cole the C word. Okay.
I know. Okay. It was disgusting.
If you're gonna call Adam Cole a C word, it needs to be champion.
Yeah, Ashton, I don't know anything anymore, bro. I thought the FCC was in place for a reason. How did this get by? We're really exposing our children to this? Are you kidding
I don't know. Maybe they're too focused on Eminem. After all, he does say in that one song, the FCC won't let him be. Maybe that's why. They need to worry more about Ricochet's dirty potty mouth and less about Eminem's shit.
Do you realize if I had the tragic misfortune of having children, first of all, I'd raise them to be wrestling fans, but then they'd come to me and they'd say, oh, but dad, this guy said this about Adam Cole. I can't even repeat it like you. He said this about Adam Cole. Is that true? Do you know how mortified I'd be for my children who I'm raising properly to respect Adam Cole? And then this happens saying, oh, well, you never defend your North American Championship and you're good. You're really good. This backhanded compliment bullshit, by the way. You're good. You're really good. But maybe you should prove it by defending that title against me as if you're owed something. I mean, I can't even imagine how you feel right now, bro. All my sympathy with you right now. This is disgusting. This is just disgusting. So
I can't even, John. I can't even. All I know is that Adam Cole took the one little tiny nugget of truth that came out of Ricochet's mouth tonight, that being that Adam Cole is good, which even then, talk about an understatement, but he took that and he just took that and he blew it up into what it was meant to be, which was him being so good that Ricochet doesn't even deserve an opportunity because that would diminish Adam Cole and the prestige of the North American Championship.
I mean, absolutely. Look, the two most important words I've ever learned, net worth. Adam Cole's net worth being North American champion has to be ridiculous. Do you think he's going to risk that and his general welfare by climbing in the ring with Ricochet without even having earned it? No, that's absurd. That's what quote unquote fighting champions do. You know what fighting champion is? I don't care enough about my bodily health, so I'm just going to throw caution to the wind. I'm going to be reckless with everything I do because now that I'm a champion,
fighting champion might as well just be a short-term champion.
Yeah, exactly. Adam Cole understands the key to this business. It's like Captain Lou Albano.
You know who else was a fighting champion?
Who?
Aleister Black. How'd that work out?
Not well, as we'll get to later. But
you know who else was a fighting champion until very recently?
Who?
Seth Rollins.
I knew you were going to say Seth Rollins. You know why, though? Adam Cole couldn't even join this conversation because he doesn't speak loser. And he understands, like Captain Lou Albano once told Kevin Nash, another brilliant wrestler in his own right. I got to keep it together. The only two real things in this business are the money and the miles. And with that North American Championship over his shoulder, I assure you, ladies and gentlemen, Adam Cole is making bank. But he's very careful. He's very meticulous about the miles he puts on that God bod. And Ricochet just needs to respect that. So while Adam Cole is backing up, because Adam Cole understands, Ashton, he doesn't have to take this. He's fucking Adam Cole. He's not like you or I. He leaves. Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, they come out, they back Adam Cole up, because he has such a magnetic personality. People gravitate to him. He has a posse. Where's your posse, Ricochet? But who cuts the Undisputed Era, the most dominant faction in wrestling today, off at the pass? War Raiders. Their music hits. Adam Cole justifiably is mortified because he looks like a morsel to these two brainless behemoths. And so they try and take to safer ground. And then who's behind them? Tyler Bate and Trent Seven. Is respect no longer a thing, Ashton? You're going to have to help me out here. I don't understand how any of this works anymore. Jumping people from behind that gets you title shots. Is that how this works in 2018?
John, there are a lot of words that I, as an Adam Cole fan, don't understand, such as losing and failure. But respect is definitely a word that I do understand. And I think that these guys need to get a little bit of an update on their dictionaries.
Yeah, and you know what? I can't even believe I just gotta have a quick aside here, Ashton, because Jackie just asked in chat, when's Adam Cole getting his Twitter back? So the same week, right, that this is like all freaking happening. Like the dude still doesn't even have his Twitter back. Can the universe stop conspiring against its creator, please? This is really, really disgusting right now. What's happening to Adam Cole? But Mustache Mountain, they get a few blows in. War Raiders give chase. Undisputed Era, thankfully, they do escape. But I mean, clearly, War Raiders and Mustache Mountain, they have interest in the tag titles. I mean, Mustache Mountain, they have a rematch, and War Raiders, they've been prime for him for a while. Ricochet obviously wants the North American Championship. And I am just so lost for words at like everything that's happening to Undisputed Era right now. But that was that segment. Adam Cole is a marked man, but I know you and I have been saying a lot that we can't even. It doesn't matter because come TakeOver Brooklyn, Adam Cole will overcome the odds. He will beat Ricochet, and he will still be our North American champion because who else are we going to trust with the continent, right? So there you go.
I love it. I love it. So then after his godliness, Adam Cole, Bebe, I almost forgot the Bebe, we did get a contract signing, William Regal moderating, and it is between the women's champion Shayna Baszler and her challenger, Kairi Sane. Regal says that it is going to be a rematch from the Mae Young Classic a year ago, but Shayna objects because she says that a year ago she was a shell of what she has become, while Kairi has to live off the past because she hasn't done anything since, and also emphasizes that she has actually already beaten Kairi in a singles match since then. So it isn't a direct rematch. It's actually technically a rubber match. She doesn't specify that. I'm adding that part. And then Kairi signs the contract and says, I know it. You know it. I can beat you. To which Shayna calls her out for being a fake pirate, calls out Dakota Kai for being fake tough, and then calls out Candice LeRae saying that she should be a homemaker. And then Kairi repeats herself. I know it. You know it. At Brooklyn, I will beat you. And Shayna just says she can't take it anymore, so she signs the contract and leaves. And then Kairi looks at William Regal and says, I know it. You know it. I will beat her.
I believe in Kairi so much, and it's so wonderful to see that she believes in herself. She knows she can beat Shayna Baszler. It was a very straightforward contract signing. I like that. I think WWE's realized that only certain contract signings should be like out in the open. If the two personalities really seem to match, if somebody's going to go through a table, whatever. I like that most contract signings have been done like in backstage segments, and we don't make as big a production out of them. I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. And yeah, this came off fine. Shayna, I think every week she finds a bit more of her voice, and she's got that heel swagger that I think works tremendously well. And Kairi, I mean, just such a pure baby face, like I know we joke around a lot and this and that, but you know how much I love her. And I think, she's what a baby face should be, just that likability, that magnetism. I mean, hell, she started doing that dance. And the first time she did it that we saw, you remember, two grown men like next to each other were doing that dance with her, which I think is awesome. Yeah, that's what it's all about. So two polar opposite forces, one NXT Women's Championship match, a lot of history between them. The story practically writes itself. This was a chapter that they really didn't make much of. It was a very simple verbal confrontation, but it was enough, and I quite liked it. So what were your thoughts about this? Because I know you said you surmised it as segments with champions were amazing. Not was just pretty meh or annoying. So what did you think about this contract signing?
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I feel like Shayna made a really strong point, and then Kairi just being persistent, being, persevering, I should say. It's telling the story of Shayna being so overly confident that it might cost her, and Kairi being that sort of quiet confident where she is confident that she can win, but she's not going to get up in Shayna's face about it. I actually really like the subtlety of this story because it's a good confidence versus a potentially toxic kind of confidence. And it's going to depend on who is the better skilled person, who's willing to go further to win the title or to retain the title in Shayna's case. I really like the storytelling here. I do think it's kind of funny that we're kind of continuing the trend of the women's championship and NXT being the only one that gets contract signings, but It wasn't like one of your sort of stereotypical in-ring contract signings, and there was no table flip, and there was no violence. So I approve.
Absolutely. Nothing more you could say than that. We can move on.
All right. Up next, we kind of see Ciampa getting in the zone and is, getting ready for his match tonight. And then we get the announcements. We get 3 announcements, actually. First off, tonight, we're getting Black Ciampa, which we already knew about. Up next, though, Lacey Evans is in action. Ugh. And then third of all, EC3 versus Kona Reeves next week. Double ugh.
You know what? Better now than at TakeOver, right? Because I think we already kind of know where TakeOver's heading a little bit. And I'm not exactly thrilled about that either, but we'll talk about it when it's more appropriate. I hate Kona Reeves so much. I'm finding out that some of my friends are actually fans of his, and that's really a test for a friendship right there, I'll tell you. But I love all of your faces, so no worries. Yeah, I honestly don't care who wins. Actually, no, I do. EC3, please win. Just knock Kona off, and then I hope when he goes to the back, it's like, oh wow, Kona, that was your last match. Bye. But yeah, that was that. And you said Lacey Evans' match is up next. So I guess let's talk about that. Really nothing to talk about. This was against Tanilla Prince, right?
Price, yeah.
Price, sorry. And yeah, really a nothing match. See, I feel like these were the matches Lacey should have had to start with. Like, I feel like they got everything backwards. You know what I mean? Like, if you were really interested in pushing Lacey, it should have been these matches for like the first maybe 2 months, maybe even 3. I don't know. It depends on how well, NXT thinks she's progressing. Then you move up to Dakota Kai, then Kyrie. Like, I just feel like they got everything backwards with like the trajectory of her push. But whatever. She squashes this woman with the women's right. Still hate it, but it's whatever. Really can't say anything else about it. I don't even know if you want to say anything about it because I know Lacey just doesn't do it for you at all. But I'm going to hand the reins over to you anyway if there's anything you want to add.
I actually came up with a take during this match, and I wanted your opinion on it.
Sure.
In Lacey Evans, it really does feel to me like they are sort of training an heir to Alexa and Carmella on the main roster.
Oh, dude, absolutely. I think I even told you when we were playing Rocket League a few nights ago. Like, Lacey to me is the type, just like Carmella and Alexa, she'll never be NXT Women's Champion, but when she gets on the main roster, she will definitely be, if not a multi-time, she'll definitely at least have one run with either the Raw or SmackDown or both, dude.
I'm definitely getting that vibe off of her because I feel like all of the same things are being said about her as were said or as are being said about Alexa and Carmella, except, and this is the one exception, they're kind of doing a better job with her at tricking people into thinking she's good in the ring. Like she's being protected similarly to how Charlotte was protected for the longest time. So she's like a hybrid of Carmella, Alexa, and Charlotte in the ring, and then she's like a hybrid of the Carmella and Alexa characters as far as like people fucking hate them because they aren't that good in the ring, but they can cut promos and they're hot blondes that Vince just fucking loves and pushes to the moon.
Right.
So.
Oh boy, yeah. There's just really
just the vibe I've been getting, and really got tonight, especially because it just feels like she's getting the wrong kind of heat. But whatever, man. Let's move on. Up next, we had an interview with Bianca Belair. We have a new interviewer backstage. I didn't catch her name. We do have an interview with Bianca Belair. She is undefeated, and she repeats over and over again she is undefeated, and when she gets back from her injury, she's going to get what she deserves.
I almost kind of like this in the sense that, like, in Bianca's mind, what else is there really to say than the thing that's most important? Like, I haven't been beaten. Nobody can beat me. And to even kind of conjure up any other arguments would be diminishing the central argument and the one of the most important. So I'm going to keep putting this force behind it. Nobody can beat me. I'm undefeated. So, and it was a heelish thing. I mean, she's definitely got that arrogance and that cockiness about her. I still like Bianca. I still want it to be a slow burn because, like, what they're doing with Lacey Evans, that is what I feared for Bianca. And I think they are taking a somewhat better route with her. So, it's good to see there. I don't know if, like, this thing with Bianca is going to blow up post-Brooklyn or if it's going to come a bit later. Maybe they're just going to have Bianca keep working on her craft until, like, the title changes hands, which it could be at Brooklyn, could be later. But I just don't really know when I could see her getting in the mix as far as, like, her competing for it individually and not being a part of some multi-woman match like a Fatal 4-Way or something. But you know, she's staking her claim, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, up next, we do get kind of a moments ago from when Shayna was leaving the room that the contract signing was in. The guy behind the mic asks her, you know, what was up with the strong words that she had for Kyrie, and she responds with strong words for a weak woman. Oh, that was actually kind of clever, but also kind of like shitty that she would take that shot at Kyrie. But then Candice LeRae shows up and she is pissed. She's talking about like, you know, what's up with you saying all this shit behind my face, you know, or behind my back.
Behind my face. I love you, dude.
Behind my back. Say it to my face next time. And then Shayna asks Candice to try slapping her again and see what happens. But then, you know, as she's about to, Serena Deeb shows up and restrains Candice. And Candice basically says, you know, now's not the time, but I will make time.
Oh God, you know, I almost like, it's a shame that you're not a shittier human being, which is a compliment at the end of the day. Because like, if you were the type of person to talk behind my back, I would totally use that line. Ashley, why are you talking behind my face? But no, I can't lose focus because I know we're in the middle of a review. You just have me dying over that. I'm gonna be thinking about that all night now. But yeah, Candice, I mean, clearly showing that fire. Honestly, dude, I almost feel like the kind of story they're telling with Candice, at least to me, is the kind of story we're wishing they would use with Dakota Kai, like if they're going to go this route with her, because they're just making Candice like Shayna thinks nothing of her, that she's only like a second fiddle, and like, why are you even a wrestler? You should just be like a housewife 24/7. And Candice is just dying for that opportunity to prove herself. She was dynamite in the freaking triple threat, but she lost. You know, she ate the pin.
Her lion salt is so good.
It is, dude. Like, holy fucking shit. So like really they are doing a great story where like Shayna just keeps, you know, needling her and just poking the bear and this and that. And Candice may get a little closer each time. Like, I don't even want her to be closer each time in terms of winning the championship. I'm talking about just contendership alone. And then when she gets the title shot, like, I think they can make a big deal out of this. I feel a big story here between these two. I hope NXT doesn't rush it. Only time will tell. But yeah, I enjoyed this little interaction, man, and just great stuff.
Yep. All right, man. Well, I mean, I guess we can move on then, because the only thing that we have left is our main event.
Now, as you can imagine, with a main event like this, Ashton, I have a shit ton to say, but because it's two of us, I'd really love just your full thoughts here from beginning to end with this, and just take me on your journey. Because here's the crazy thing, because I know you told me before it went live. I know you said you didn't take notes because you were totally sucked into this, but what did you mentally take away from this that was like, oh my God, that was so good?
Oh, man. So as far as this match goes, it was great. This was an excellent match. There was some great limb work going on. And really not even just limb work, because Ciampa was working over Black's midsection. And by the way, I don't even have to talk about the match, because the commentary for this match was absolutely incredible. Mauro Ranallo is an absolute gem. Nigel McGuinness is freaking incredible. And Percy has even gotten better. I even enjoyed some of Percy's stuff in this. So, like, this commentary team for NXT is so incredible. They are just excellent. They're exceptional. Commentary for this match was exceptional. It was amazing. Ciampa being the most hated man on the planet right now definitely helps. And I also love that as far as commentary goes, that they have actual investment in who wins. Like, it's not, like, normally I do prefer like the objective, unbiased commentary team, but when someone is as wicked and vile as Ciampa, for the commentary team to kind of subtly and then eventually very like flagrantly show their bias, I absolutely love that story, because it's like they try not to have any kind of bias, but eventually they just get taken over by their emotions and they get caught up in the moment and their bias shows. And I absolutely adore that. I think that that's a great element for commentary. And it's especially great when like you have a genuinely shitty person as the heel, and then like this sort of hero-ish character. Like Aleister Black would even tell you he's not a hero. He literally used to call himself the anti-hero. But like when you put anyone up against Ciampa, they are the hero because Ciampa is that good of a villain. So I love that the commentary got so behind Black in this and so against Ciampa. And then like even like the ref bump, which I also want to point out, I love that the ref bump wasn't just a ref bump. He got bumped onto the exposed concrete on the outside. So just knowing that, I guarantee you half the people in here didn't even have to watch the match to know that it was referee Drake Wirtz who took that bump. Because
right.
Drake Younger used to be a nutcase who would do the craziest shit on the indies. But I love that the ref bump was not just your traditional ref bump, it was like next level because he fell off the apron and onto the concrete floor that was exposed by Ciampa earlier in the match. So even though there's a reason that, you know, you could justify blaming Aleister Black for the ref bump, but even if you want to blame Black for the ref bump, you can also the same time make the argument the ref wouldn't have been down for as long if Ciampa hadn't removed the padding on the outside. So there's so much going into kind of affording blame and kind of distributing blame, but really the most blame has to go to Johnny Gargano because he shows up not even necessarily trying to help Aleister Black. He wasn't really interested in, oh, well, Aleister needs my help. He was more interested in that dirty son of a bitch Ciampa can't get away with this again. I need to go kill him. And so he went in there with the championship, and I think he did hit Ciampa once, but then when he was swinging to hit him again, Ciampa prevented him from being able to wind up because he grabbed the championship. And as Gargano was pulling away with the title, Ciampa let go, flinging Gargano back into Aleister Black. So he hit Black with the title. Ciampa gets rid of Gargano, hits an elevated double underhook sit-out facebuster. And then as he hits that, as referee Drake Wirtz is recovering. So Wirtz gets in the ring just in time to count the 3. And we have a new NXT champion. Tommaso Ciampa is your new NXT champion. And the story that was told in the match was exceptional. The fact that Johnny Gargano basically caused something to happen that was the last thing on earth he ever wanted to see happen is an amazing story. Like the redemption story that's going to be there for them to tell is amazing. There's just so much good coming out of this, John. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to pass it over to you.
I mean, dude, excellent analysis as always. You covered things that I wouldn't have even really bothered to cover. Really, one thing that I liked about your side of the analysis that I really appreciate and I want to drive home, the thoughtfulness that was put into the booking and the structure of this match. I say over and over, and I'm going to keep saying it because I keep noticing people making the same mistake. So I'm just going to keep saying it to really kind of distinguish us from everybody else. Pro wrestling is not a sport. It is an art, a form of theater. And this was riveting, breathtaking, and just brilliant. I mean, I love that Ciampa still comes out to heat. Dude doesn't have a theme. The crowd provides his theme and they don't even know it. Like they can't help but react. It's like you see something so repulsive, like you just really can't help but just let it know how you feel. And that's how these fans are with Ciampa. Black going in. Like Black's always been a tremendous face. I'm not gonna like take the piss out on him to elevate Ciampa. You know, you don't need to do that when they're both excellent in their own rights. He's always been a strong face. But here it's different, right? Because, like, he's the last stand between Ciampa and the NXT landscape becoming Ciampa's. You know, the demon, as everybody's, like, calling Ciampa, the devil, running NXT. So, like, Black's the last defense. And knowing that story, it's like whatever face momentum he has, like whatever fanfare he possesses, it goes up tenfold even for just one night because look who he's going against, which is the beauty of the heel, right? Like any classical wrestler, like any old school wrestler would tell you, the primary function of the heel, you got to make the babyface look good. And like Ciampa's so evil. It's like, yes, Black, please bring this win home for us. So I love that. I love that. I'm going to be honest with everybody, and I'm probably alone in this. I've always liked Ciampa. It's never that I've actively disliked him, But like in ring and stuff, whether it's Progress that we've been kind of, watching here going back, PWG, whatever, it's like, I know he's good in there, but it's like, it doesn't really do a lot for me. Like, I can smile, I can have a good time, whatever. Man, has he found just the pocket, man. He is doing such incredible fucking work. And you know what? Honestly, it's not even like, oh, he's heel. It's the kind of heel he is. Like, he is so committed to this dude. In an age where, like, even heels, they'll do the stuff in the ring, but they'll tweet about their Starbucks coffee the next day, right? Or what a road trip they had with so-and-so, and they'll tag so-and-so in there. Ciampa uses every bit of media to push this narrative that, yeah, I'm a piece of shit. And fuck you, because I like being a piece of shit, because I'm doing it for me. Because when I tried to be good, you all turned on me the first chance you got. I love it. I love it. Like, it's so good. And then you get to the match, like what I was saying earlier, like Ciampa's in-ring before not really wowing me. And you've got the psychology of him working over the back. And I love the little point they get in there where Black tries for the German, but he can't do it because his back gives out. I love that. I love the teases to the rope ung DDT. I mean, my God, a move that Randy Orton, before he went on his hiatus to heal himself up, you'd see in every match. Feels like, oh my God, if Black gets hit with this, all of our dreams die. Like, the moment his head hits the canvas, at the same time as the cessation of our heartbeat. And I love that. I love that they built it up. To again echo your point, because you already did. All I really needed to say was I agree, and we could have moved on to our next segment, but I just needed to rave about this shit. That was the best planned, the most meticulous ref bump I've ever seen. So many of them, I feel like, are ridiculous, or it's the heel loses his cool, so it's like, you know what? I'm going to pop the ref one in the mouth. But commentary, which I agree wholeheartedly, by the way, because you laid such great groundwork, commentary was fantastic. I even felt like Percy is never going to contribute anything significant. He's not that guy. But, like, I felt like he was almost like the closest approximation to, like, just that fan in the front row, because he's not going to break down the analysis of moves and holds, whatever. He really is, like, on this night, like us, like, oh, dear God, if Ciampa wins, we're all boned. So I even felt like he was good tonight in his role. But the ref bump, I love it, because Ciampa's just getting frustrated because it's like nothing's working. And, like all this stuff, like nothing's really working out for him. Actually, no, even before that, I do have something to say before I go back to the ref bump. When Ciampa does get the DDT, the gasps throughout the arena, like that's how you work a hold. Again, I think back to that Jake Roberts interview. I had 6 moves, and I knew not only how to do them, but when to do them. And, like, my God, the timing was perfect, because it's like you do the tease, you do the tease, you do the tease, bam, he hits it crescendo. And then Black kicking out. I love the illusion here, because it really is just at the end of the day a rope hung DDT. When he beat Gargano with it, it was on a wooden floor, so that's worth noting. And when he hit it on Black the first time, it was on like a gurney or looking something thing on a floor. This was in a standard ring, but still, like, that doesn't diminish the impact of Black kicking out, because people have been conditioned, like, that puts people down. And it's great, because when Black kicks out, it's like, oh my God, what a champion this man is. And then going back to the ref bump, I love that it wasn't actively Ciampa. The man's trying to expose the floor. Drake, of course, doing his job. He's like, hey, man, what are you doing? And Ciampa's like, who do you think you are? I'm the ref. Who are you? I'm the next NXT champion. And then they're jabbing jaws here. And then, get back in the ring. And Aleister Black is so, like, hyped up, because they've been talking on Twitter, and he got drilled on his head. And he's like, I've got Ciampa. I've got him. And he gets so overzealous, he knocks Ciampa into the referee, so you can't even blame the ref bump on Ciampa. And I love that. I love that they went out of their way to protect this dude, even though he's the fucking scumbag. Black gets Black mask. Clearly it's over, but obviously the ref can't count it. Black tries reviving him there. That doesn't really work out. Ciampa, I know I used the word gouge with you in conversation. Obviously it wasn't that extreme, but he like, this hooks the eye, like, really gets the finger in there, and Black sells it so well.
Oh no, I mean, yeah, he was definitely gouging the eyes. He just didn't gouge one out.
Right. It's like,
the word you used with me. With me, you said he gouged his eyes out.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But man, like, he went in on that eye. I know usually with like eye rakes, I usually have the line, yeah, fuck your vision, bitch. But no, seriously, this was Ciampa being like, yeah, blindness. Yeah, enjoy that vision reduction, asshole. Like, he really, really dug in there. And I kind of got turned on by it. I'm not going to lie. And then, like, after all of that, it's still going, and it's still crazy because, Black's blinded. Everybody's like, damn you, Ciampa, you're so evil, yelling at clouds, and he's going for the belt, and he's going to brandish his face with it. But you know why he doesn't? Because Johnny Gargano with the freaking super kick, and then after Black told him, bruh, you need to calm the fuck down. You need to let me handle this. And Johnny's like, you don't understand. He can't win. He can't. I know what I'm doing. Do you? Do you really? Because he takes the belt from Ciampa. He has a little tug of war with him. And that tug of war, the force of Gargano pulling it away, sends the belt into Black's skull. Ciampa throws him out. I was kind of hoping for because it was just a simple toss out. So if I have any, and it's the pickiest of nits, I wish it was like a low blow or something, then the toss out. But he tosses Gargano out. Actually, that brings me to two nitpicks. I'll get to the other one in a second. And he hits, like you said, that double arm underhook, like face buster, which is just perfect. Gets the win off of it. I love how he's constantly calling the ref over after the celebration. Put the belt around me, raise my hand, this and that. Like, he's already in it, and he's only been champion a few seconds. The crowd, you're seeing surrender cobras, Morrow's apoplectic. The only thing, dude, I really would have loved, because, again, it's not like Gargano got knocked out or anything. I would have loved for a camera to pan to his face as he realized, oh, my God, I had a hand in the one thing that I wanted to avoid. Because he had a Twitter reaction, but that doesn't even begin to compare. Because, and I am being serious here, because I'm about to have my fun, in a later segment, obviously. But in all seriousness, we've talked about how great Johnny Gargano's body language is and how great a babyface this man is. Dude, I would have killed to get just a camera shot focused in on Gargano's face, seeing the NXT championship that Ciampa won on his first fucking try. And that's another thing, too. We live in an era of honest heels, dude. Because Ciampa, like Alexa Bliss and like others, told the truth. Because what did he say to Aleister Black? All I need is one opportunity, and your title reign will fade to black. And he wins with a freaking face buster. Told the truth. The shittiest man on earth told the truth, and we have to live with that. Johnny Gargano, who had multiple opportunities at the NXT title. Now, granted, it was because of Ciampa he didn't win, but even looking over that fact, Ciampa did in his first try what Gargano couldn't do with, I think he had at least 2 tries at the NXT title against Almas. And he was meant to have another match, but Ciampa took him out. So,
you say he had 2, but really he had the one that Ciampa took him out of, and then the other one was the only proper one.
Right.
But he still lost it. He still lost it, and that was the most recent show, the TakeOver, I think, Philadelphia show. Or was it Philadelphia? New Orleans. TakeOver New Orleans.
And then he had that NXT.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then he had the NXT Championship match on NXT with his career on the line and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I mean, Ciampa freaking does it. It's another heel that's coming out smelling like roses because they told the truth. Oh my God. And Ciampa, man.
And dude, here's the thing too. That was Gargano's only legit shot at Black, but he had at Almas prior to that too.
Yeah.
So Gargano has tried 3 different times, and Ciampa has only screwed him out of one of those 3 matches. So let's just cross that match out completely. Gargano has had 2 legitimate shots at the NXT Championship, once against Andrade Cien Almas, once against Aleister Black.
Well, actually, I do have to correct you there, because remember, that match never happened because Ciampa took Gargano out. Eric Young took his place that night.
No, I'm talking about on TakeOver New Orleans. Gargano went against Black on TakeOver New Orleans.
No, Gargano went against Almas, didn't he? Gargano went against Almas at TakeOver New Orleans.
No, all right, you know what? I'm pulling it up. TakeOver New Orleans. Main event was Gargano Ciampa. So it was the show before that then. It was TakeOver Philadelphia. What the shit? I thought Gargano got a shot against Black.
No, he didn't, dude. That's what I'm telling you. He never did.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. I take everything back that I was just saying.
No, but like the point still stands though. The Ciampa did what Gargano couldn't do. I mean, that's just putting it the most succinct way possible.
Right.
And,
so Gargano has only actually had 2 opportunities at the world title, and the one was the one that Ciampa took him out of, and the other one was the Philadelphia match against Andrade.
Well, and also again though, the match with his career on the line that Ciampa screwed him out of, but didn't take him out of because there was still a match. He just screwed Gargano out of it. So,
okay, so really, he's had 3 title shots, 2 of which were screwed up by Ciampa, 1 of which was legit against Almas, and he lost.
Yeah. So yeah, that is the perfect breakdown. So now that we've ironed all that out, yeah, just the idea again that Ciampa is now NXT champion. I would have loved like a Gargano reaction shot. That would have taken this. Like I'm already giving this high marks. I've already said like this is a match of the year candidate for me. But as far as the story they told, which was beautifully done, that would have put it over the top for me. Just that realization from Gargano, like, oh my God, this is the worst timeline, and I had a hand in it. Just perfect. But yeah, I fucking love this match, dude. Is there anything else you want to add?
No.
All right, then before we get into our next segment, just want to say very quickly to everybody that's here, if you wouldn't mind, leave a like. We'd greatly appreciate it. If you're happy that Tommaso Ciampa's NXT champion, please leave a like. And even if you're not, leave a like anyway, because you know you won't find a better analysis of NXT than here at TWitWoW. All of our social media, guys, is in the description box. Like our Facebook page. Follow both of us on Twitter. My pinned tweet is to collect Q&A questions. Q&A is, well, technically it's after midnight here, so it's today. 7 p.m. EDT is when we go live with Q&A. Get your questions in now. There's still time, all right? YouTube, Twitter,
just
Facebook.
To be clear, guys, John is saying this today because it's 12:12 a.m. here on the East Coast of the United States, but we're talking about tomorrow, Thursday, July 26th.
Yes, Thursday, July 26th is Q&A. Get those questions in. Again, you could put them into my pinned tweet, you know, as a reply there. If not, you can submit the questions to our Facebook page. Hell, when this video is done processing, you can comment on that with your Q&A questions. You have options. No reason not to have your voice be heard on TWitWoW Q&A. You're permitted up to 4 questions per Q&A, and you can divide them up however you like. Moving on from that, please check out the TWitWoW Teespring store. We have all kinds of merch there. Merch inspired by wrestlers all the way from Emma to Braun Strowman. We have TWitWoW specific merchandise. I'm a TWitWoW guy. I'm a TWitWoW girl because we're all about that gender equality. And we even have Scum Squad merch. You know, I always talk about the Scum Squad mug, drinking the tears of your enemies. So get in on the Teespring. I think we have a lot of great stuff there. And the final plug I want to give is to the Patreon. If you want to support what we do monetarily, if you want to really back the projects that we're vested in right now, of course, our big project is Progress Live Reactions every month. That project requires a monetary goal of $120 a month. Currently, we are sitting at $100 even. So if you want to get us back to that goal so that we continue progress in the month of August and continue documenting the reign of Skrull, you know, the advent of women now in progress and all that other stuff, the best way you can do that is by joining the TWitWoW Discord. That only costs you $3 a month. TWitWoW Discord is great. A lot of our diehard fans, as well as Ashton and myself, we cover Raw, SmackDown. We'll see Discord users, you know, talk about games and music, and then there's really a tab for everything in the TWitWoW Discord. I think it's an amazing space. I call it a win-win-win-win. And where else you win with that is if you donate regularly and you maintain your Discord membership consistently, sooner or later that translates to content control. Formula I always like to use. If you're a Discord member for 10 months, that comes out to $3 a month. That comes out to $30. $30 gets you a live reaction to a 3-hour show. That is pretty freaking cool if you ask me. We've seen people do Patreon requests before, you know, with pay-per-views and stuff. They're all on the channel. You could even check out some just to get a feel for how we do it. And so, yeah, if you would consider donating to the Patreon, we would greatly appreciate it. With that said, let's get into our next segment, high spots and low shots. And my low shot, I mean, my God, Johnny Gargano, you are, without a doubt, the most pathetic human being I have ever seen in my life. You were told to mind your business. You were told to know your place and let the champion take care of what he needed to in his title defense. and you thought you knew better than the champion, given that he's held a title that you never have. And now, because of that, your arch nemesis and a man that's infinitely better than you is the world champion. Maybe you shouldn't have been such a shitty friend to begin with. I hope you don't sleep tonight. Suck a railroad spike, asshole. Johnny Gargano's my low shot. Who's your low shot, Ashton?
Well, I had two names in my mind, and you took one of them, so I'll take the other one, Aleister Black. He has to be the other low shot because he lost the title to the scum of the earth.
Yeah, I wouldn't say scum of the earth. I mean, that man, well, we won't even get into that here. But, yeah, he lost. And what's even worse for Black and what makes him even more of a low shot to me is that, like, it was out of his hands. It was by somebody that maybe he should have thought more about. Like, see, Black's mistake was assuming that Johnny Gargano is a rational human being. The man's a Neanderthal, okay? Black should have known that. So I really have to chastise him for that. You are 100% in the right for giving Aleister Black your low shot, which leads me to my high spot. Tommaso Ciampa, the most inspiring sports entertainer of all time. Tommy Entertainment, the new NXT champion. What a comeback story from being the abused underling in a tag team where he was grossly underappreciated to breaking out on his own, emancipating himself from the maltreatment at the hands of a far inferior tag team partner to become NXT champion. If that doesn't inspire you to look into your local wrestling school today, I don't know what does. I mean, this man is everything that's right with pro wrestling. Johnny Gargano got just what he deserved. And see, why I love Tommaso Ciampa is that unlike Gargano, who needs to protect his image, Ciampa never lied to us, Ashton. He said he would only need one title opportunity. He wasn't going to waste our time. Just give me one. I'll be champion. It'll all be good. And I don't know if you watched his Fallout video on WWE's YouTube channel, but he said with him as champion, NXT has officially become the A show. And I mean, who could really argue with that logic with such a beautiful human being and talented at that as NXT champion? So Ciampa, sir, you are a beacon of hope to us all. May you have a prosperous NXT championship reign. You're my high spot. Who's your high spot, Ashton?
Good Lord. Your ego. Jesus Christ.
My ego? How dare you, sir? Who's your high spot?
I mean, you definitely took the easiest, most obvious.
You mean the most just, the most correct?
No, I don't mean the most just. I mean most likely, probably the best option for high spot here. So I guess we all know that Adam Cole is usually my high spot, and then I give someone else my secondary high spot. But fuck that noise. No one else deserves my high spot. It's Adam Cole. Adam Cole is the only high spot that matters this week, and he is going to keep it until NXT decides to be dumb enough to not put him on another episode of NXT.
World champion matters more. But yeah, that's a fine high spot. I guess with that,
okay, so that time I legitimately didn't hear what you said under your.
Oh, I said world champion matters more, you know, because Adam Cole only has a secondary championship. So to say that he's
excuse me, NXT's championship has never been referred to as a world championship. It's the NXT championship, meaning all it represents is this one little promotion down in Florida. Adam Cole represents an entire continent. Talk to me when your guy represents more than just a little city down in Florida.
Oh, okay. Because clearly that NXT title doesn't mean anything to Adam Cole. It's not like he attacked the NXT champion at the time, Drew McIntyre, or Galloway, excuse me. Or no, it is McIntyre. God, I'm getting them all mixed up. During his debut. But no, it's fine. You just be fine with that continent that Adam Cole allegedly controls when he can't even control his own Twitter account. That's cool. But no, do you have any concluding remarks about NXT tonight?
I sure don't. Let's go.
All right, guys, with that said, this has been NXT. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment when this video is done processing. Talk to us. How do you feel about the fact that Adam Cole controls the continent? How do you feel that Tommaso Ciampa is your new NXT champion? How do you feel that Lacey Evans is still a thing? Let your comments, let your voice be heard down in the comments below, guys. Let your comments ring. Other than that, please like the video. The more likes you leave, the more likely we are to be the top search result for NXT reviews on YouTube. And when you're the best at what you do, the top is the only place that you belong. So please leave that like. And lastly, if you're new, please subscribe. And if you're actually still with us, I guess turn on the bell for notifications. This way you never miss a TWitWoW, because I know, Dragon and other people are like, I missed something. I know it. So you know what? I'm also going to start saying, and I hope it doesn't get annoying, click the bell for notifications, because I know there are certain people that love what they do, and then they kick themselves because they're like, oh, man, I missed it. I don't want you guys to miss it. I love you here. I love your faces. Go, get notified. Make sure you never miss another moment of that TWitWoW goodness. Plus, I have a 4-pack. Would I lie to you being this devastatingly good looking? Of course I wouldn't. So be sure to get notified of all that TWitWoW goodness. And guys, other than that, it's Q&A tomorrow, 7 p.m. EDT. Get those questions in again. For those of you, it's not quite the 26th yet, but it is Thursday, July 26th, Q&A. Be there. We're going to answer all sorts of questions. You guys are always so imaginative and creative. I can only imagine what we're in store for this month. Gotten little glimpses of it. Seems very promising. So until then, guys, tune in and peace out.